My name is Era, and I'm the host of the Tamil Creator Podcast. I chat with creators from all over the world to share their stories and discuss hot topics in a way that I hope inspires, educates, and entertains you. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Tamil Creator. This is your host, Era. Today, I have Jallaja Pararajasingham, who is the Manager of Volunteer Resources at SAAAC, which stands for South Asian Autism Awareness Center. Amazing organization funded by Geeta. Maybe I'll get her on the podcast later. And Jallaja, in addition to doing amazing work there, she's also a choreographer / dancer extraordinaire on the side. And dancing is something that I wish I could do. But, maybe Jallaja will kind of give me lessons in the future and I'll kind of figure that out. But without further ado, Jallaja, why don't you kind of kick things off by talking a bit about your family, your upbringing, and kind of how that sparked, your love of dancing, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, for sure. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me on this podcast. I think this is my first podcast ever. So.
Awesome.
What sparked my passion for dancing, I would say sitting there when I was younger and our parents would put us in front of the TV and all we would do is watch movies, right? We would live and breathe movies, right? Tamil cinema was such a huge role in my life, and I guess many people, right? Many dancers, I would say. So that's where it really began. We would just sit there and dance in front of the TV, copy what we see, and then I guess our parents saw that there's some kind of talent there or something. So they would use us as entertainment at their parties. And that's where I would start performing for people because, you're kind of forced to anyway. So it kind of sparked there. And yeah.
And do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have an older sister and a younger brother. So I am the middle child. And so I'm always that person that either is known as a rebel or known to just do whatever and not care. So I'm that personality in my family.
And how would you describe kind of your family dynamic? Either a lot of Tamil families I know, that first generation, kind of that transition to us is either very close or it's everyone talks, but it's not you have deep conversations like you would have had with your friends. How would you kind of describe your family dynamics that way?
I would say we are very close. My parents owned a bakery, Breadmaster Bakery at Malvern. So they were always really consuming.
Wait a minute, right by the Pizza Hut?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Small world, because I used to always go to Dr. O'Brien when I was a kid.
Yes,
So we would park in that plaza, walk and get go to the doctor, come back, get food from your parents' place, which I didn't know, and then go home. So crazy.
Awesome. Yeah. So they were, all busy with that, but all while my siblings and I, we were very, very close and we would always be at the bakery and always we're always together doing something, helping out for that or just kind of hanging out and watching movies. So I would say we're very, very close and we do talk a lot, especially when we got older. When we grew older, I think our parents were more after they gave the bakery away, I would say I didn't know they had this kind of personality when they grow older. They're so much more funnier. Right? It kind of makes sense when they're busy in their jobs and stuff, they're stressed or they're always on the go. And then once they retired, I didn't know my mom had that sense of humor. She is hilarious, right? It's really interesting.
I think when you have a family business, I think there's a lot of our parents who I think a lot of them end up doing something entrepreneurial, maybe it was opening a restaurant, things like that. Mm-hmm. It's you have to provide for your family, often multiple kids, mm-hmm. and it's single income usually, or the mother and father are working together. And yeah, you're right. Even my dad, in his retirement, way different than what I remember when I was a kid. He's way I'm saying making it sound bad, but he's just because I think because he's less stressed, he's more smiley and
yes.
Just so it's way different.
Yeah, very, very different. And I like both ends because you kind of see their entrepreneur side and what they can do and how passionate and driven they are, all at the same time. When they're when they can relax, it's they're so entertaining and it's okay, cool, I'm gonna be that.
I feel like our parents are way more entertaining or like more interesting than we probably give them credit for. And it's probably
100%.
because a lot of them don't share like their interesting life before, like, because
Yeah.
now that I'm a parent, I'm like, hey, I think me and Claudia are like pretty cool. But now, like when our kids grow up, they're gonna be like, oh, our parents are like lame. But I was like,
Yeah.
no, no, we had an interesting life before you guys. So like I totally kind of empathize now. So
Yeah, for sure.
so obviously like I know you through a lot of things, but I think one of the things I'm envious is you're a great dancer, and now you're sharing your passion and your talent by teaching others to dance. So,
Yeah.
how did you, turn this passion of dancing into, I don't know if you're making it into a business, but like at least sharing with others, or like being a choreographer like for people's weddings and things like that. So how
Yeah.
did you kind of branch out from there, and how did people discover this talent of yours?
I mean, I've been dancing and choreographing for a very long time, well before I started Let's Jalsa. And the reason why I started Let's Jalsa is so that dance stays in my life. Growing up, like your parents tell you, they encourage you to dance because you're the entertainment, right? The family entertainment. But then after the fact, it's like, okay, now go get a job or go do this or be productive. But I'm like, hey, dance is pretty productive if you think about it, right? So yeah, it kind of started there, and I really just wanted to keep dance in my life. And so the feeling that I get out of dance and like that adrenaline rush that I get, I know other people can feel the same way. And a lot of people I know are just really shy or really nervous to dance. So that's why I went into the wedding industry, because so many people dread that portion of their reception. It's like either the speech or their dance. So it's like, okay, let me help you with that. Right, and let me show you how to have fun with it, because that's what it's supposed to be. So I did like primarily focus on the wedding dance side of things, but then really Let's Jalsa is not just wedding choreography, right? It's all things dance. I do workshops, I teach a lot of people. I do productions, I direct videos and productions, stage performances and things like that. So there's a lot of different things I do as well. And now I'm doing tutorial videos because of the pandemic. I kind of had to adjust with and kind of adapt to the situation. And so now I would do tutorial videos for clients and couples overseas. And
Oh,
I've
that's awesome.
also kind of like, now I started something called SAAAC Studios, which maybe I could get into a little later, but I provide like resources and videos for individuals on the autism spectrum, but in the dance realm. So I teach them like dance through videos for them. And also I've done workshops for parents, parents of the individuals on the autism spectrum, because dance is really just an outlet, right? A lot of people don't realize how it could make you feel after the fact. It's about enjoying, letting your body go and just enjoying the music, and just it's like a stress reliever. And a lot of people are so shy to do it that they don't realize how much benefit comes out of it. And so that's where Let's Jalsa comes into it, where it's just have fun with it. And if you don't know how to, I will show you. Right?
That's a smart kind of idea around kind of, yeah, like for people. I remember like our wedding, I was terrified of the dance. We had the dance routine we had to do, but you're right, like it was fun after the fact, but it's so terrifying, and like having something like this would be fairly useful. And for those of you listening, Jallaja actually had a major like, she got married and she moved into her own place during COVID with her now husband. I can only imagine how great your dance routine at your wedding would have been. So there's got to be a video out there somewhere around that one.
Unfortunately, we didn't do a reception because it
Ah,
had to get postponed, but I'm hoping that maybe, I mean, I've always dreamt of it, so I may do it. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
you got to at least record a routine. I feel
I
like it'd be
will.
epic. And you brought up a good point. I was going to actually segue into SAAAC as well. For those people that, I mean, I'm aware of it because I saw it from the beginning, and obviously you've been involved for a long time, but maybe tell people what SAAAC is, and like how you kind of got involved and how you've seen the organization kind of grow from, I remember the humble beginnings from like, I think it's still around that location, but Mark and Manel's mayor with that small location. And now that's, it's got much bigger and nicer. So yeah, talk about that. This episode is sponsored by nobody. That's right, nobody. So if you could be kind enough to hit that subscribe button, that would mean a lot to me.
Yeah, so SAAAC Autism Centre is a charity based in Scarborough. It's focused primarily on providing accessible and equitable services for families on the autism spectrum. So any families that have like language barriers or low income families, we provide subsidized services for them, right? I actually joined SAAC a very, very long time ago when I was as a volunteer when I was in university. I was one of those people where I was like, I should probably do something productive with my time. Let me volunteer somewhere. And that somewhere happened to be SAAC, and it just blossomed from there. And when I started at SAAC, it was the beginning. I was one of the first few volunteers there, and now it's grown into serving over 400 families. And so I was there when it kind of blossomed. And so I've seen many, many things, whether it's the families, the parents and their development, but also the community side of things, because I'm the volunteer manager. So I kind of recruit volunteers and give them opportunities to work with these families, right? And kind of see what you can do and how you can do better, right? For our own community. So I've seen the community really come together, and all the different students and working professionals that have like gotten involved at SAAC, and how they've grown as individuals, and how they came in and how they left and how different they are. So I think I have a very interesting perspective on like things that happen at SAAC, because I see all sides of things, right? I see the clients, I see their parents and how they come in like really like, like to themselves, and who are now like open to talking about autism, and like kind of proud of who they are and who their children are, and really being advocates, versus like the community who come in who don't know anything about autism, who leave as advocates as well, and looking to fundraise and educate people around them. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great organization for like two main things I see is really exposure education. Like a lot of people in the Tamil community, there's certain topics that just aren't talked about. And autism was one of those misunderstood things that now there's more education that SAAC's doing. And not just in the Tamil community. I think there's like people that I've heard about that just like, it's like really hard to find a place like this where you not only get support, but it's also like a community with other parents or families that also have children with autism, and you kind of get educated together, share your pain, struggles, joys.
Absolutely.
So it's a pretty amazing place for that.
And I think that's the best part, because it's not just client services. It focuses on the entire family as a whole, right? The siblings, the parents. So I think that's where, that's why it's just so beautiful, because you see it as a whole, right? Like the entire family. So yeah.
So how do your two, like the things that you're passionate about, you love doing in terms of your full-time job at SAAC, as well as your dancing, like first of all, how do you balance that time between the two? And then how do you kind of marry those two interests? Because I don't know if this is part of like your SAAC work, but like I saw the Stop, Drop and Jalsa challenge or
Yeah.
as well. So maybe talk a bit about all those things.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, with SAAC, it is quite challenging to balance your full time and your passion, right? Especially if I'm trying to pursue my passion in dance, and it is very time consuming. But at the same time, it's like at SAAC, I'm able to have that creative outlet there, where for our like fundraising galas, I would do performances that tell stories about families on the autism spectrum. So I would marry the two in that sense, right? I would tell stories through dance, and those stories are about families on the spectrum. So that was something that was very motivating and inspiring for me as an artist, because I had the opportunity to do that. At the same time, we also have dance programs at SAAC. So that's where like I would kind of get involved in that light as well, where I would do tutorial videos for like individuals on the spectrum as like resources for them to use at home during the lockdown, right? Another thing that I did with SAAC was I went to Sri Lanka in 2019, and I went to Kilinochchi, and we were able to work with many special needs classes, and we did a needs assessment there. And when I went there, you see so many children with special needs who don't have the right resources to like, who don't have the right resources to get that help. And it's like, where do you even start? And so when I went there and I saw these children, and I thought, okay, I noticed that they all love to dance. They all love performing. So that's one of the main things that we heard all the teachers say, oh, you should see this child, they're so good at dancing. And so that's when I was able to kind of get really motivated and inspired to do more than just, wedding choreography. I could do more with this dancing field, right? Not just weddings and not just here, but I can help people there as well. So I would like implement some kind of programming there, and I'm like working on something right now. um, but that's another thing. And yes, you did talk about Stop, Drop, and Jalsa. So as part of a fundraiser, as we're doing for SAAAC, which is our walkathon, I decided to collaborate with people in our community and do short, fun dance videos. And the reason behind that is not just to fundraise, but also to get more people involved and to bring awareness in a more fun light, right? So getting more people involved in it, because first of all, everyone loves to dance. And I know so many people that used to dance that don't have the outlet to dance anymore. So it's like, why not do it for a cause like this? Everyone gets to dance, everyone gets to have fun and really just kind of go out of their comfort zone and get active again, especially after a lockdown or the third lockdown, all while raising funds for a very important cause. So I started this Stop, Drop, and Jalsa, and I think it went really, really successfully this year because I got more than me asking people were reaching out to me to participate, and that makes me so happy because that tells me two things: they believe in the cause, and also they want to let go, right? They want to get out of their comfort zone and start dancing again, which makes me very happy.
Yeah, I saw some people in the video that I didn't know dance. I think like Myron was
Yeah,
one and like a few others. And I was like, oh, cool. Like,
it's so amazing. It made me so happy.
that's awesome. Because you have a lot on your plate, right? Like you like had these new milestones you kind of from a personal level, and you work full time, you do this on the side as well. I think a good support system is probably key to enabling you to kind of do that or keep going, especially when things get my tough. So like, what is your support system like with friends and family? And
Mhm.
have you ever been like questioned or not criticized, but like, yeah, maybe criticized about like your career choices or just kind of the dancing? Like, how do people feel about that in your support system?
For sure. I'm going to start with the criticism first, because growing up, all my parents would say is dance. And then after a certain point, they say, stop dancing. When are you done? Are you done yet? Okay, that's nice. Are you done yet? Are you done now? And that's what the questions were every single year, because I was also dancing outside of school performances and university competitions. I would dance with Agni, and I'm one of the lead choreographers for Agni music troupe. So for them, that's like every single weekend we have a show, and every single weekend we have to choreograph and perform and teach. And it's like kind of like a full-time thing. It was like a full-time gig and always performing. And so that means you're not really home. That means, your parents will start to worry just when you like kind of give yourself to dance. And it's natural because I know a lot of parents that are like that. And so in the beginning, my parents were kind of like, I think this is enough. You should like kind of move on now. Um, but then now when you think about it, once I started Let's Jalsa, and kind of, I think they understand that dance is just not like a hobby and just like a thing on the side. Is kind of like just who you are. And so I think they have accepted that, and now they're like, oh, so how are your clients? And it's just so fast. I'm still so fascinated how parents can change. I'm still on that topic. Especially because, anyways, I'm not even gonna get into that. But yeah, so I think the same parents who would criticize you are the same ones who will be there regardless, right? So my family is definitely my biggest support system. My friends are very supportive because also all my friends dance. I only have dancer friends. I'm just joking. I have like all my friends are very supportive of that, and they're all down to dance. Everyone wants that in their life. No one wants to let it go. I just found an outlet to keep it,
Mm.
so I think they believe in what I'm doing. And of course, I have to give a shout out to Kanka, my husband, who, before was thinking, is it me or is it Dan? I'm just joking. I was just joking. It's more like, you have to like, what is it called? You have to manage your time properly. But he's definitely someone who still pushes me to dance. He's like my number one fan. In fact, he doesn't dance. He's my number one fan and my number one client because I'm constantly teaching him something, because like, he's not a dancer. But yeah, he's like my number one support right now, and he pushes me to do more. So
That's
yeah.
a lot of pressure on the dance floor for him to have you as his dance partner. So you gotta.
Yep.
Did you know that every time you left a 5 out of 5 review for this podcast, a Tamil parent lets their child pursue a career in the creative arts? Okay, that's probably not true, but if there's a chance that it is, do you really want to jinx it? Leave a review. Do it for the young creative in you. I guess in terms of like your why, like, what's your why? Like, I like to ask this question, like, why do you like to dance? You know, do you see yourself at SAAAC, and like, what's your why for kind of keep doing the work that you do there? We might have kind of already answered it, I don't know, but I'll let you answer.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I would add to it is I think what I see in others, like what I notice in others when they dance, what I notice in the students at SAC when they dance, when I notice what I notice in parents when they're dancing through our workshops, what I notice in clients, what I just notice in people and their whole, like, if it just, I think I really enjoy when people enjoy dancing, if that makes any sense. Like, I feel like I'm making some sort of like, I'm bringing some sort of light to their day. Am I making a huge impact? I don't know, maybe, but for that moment, am I making them feel good? Yes, and that's what I strive to do every single time. So my why is like people and them learning and them feeling better about themselves and feeling more confident to be who they want to be, and just do
What
you.
what's the insecurity that you have?
Insecurity, I honestly, I I guess for me it's what's next. It's always like what's next, like what happens now, or like what's my next move? Can I do something better? Is this enough? Is this enough for people? But that's always a flaw, because like why does it matter if it's enough for other people? You know what I mean? It's like that's just a struggle I think artists feel in general. It's always like, is this enough? Will people like what I put out? Will they appreciate what I put out? It should be more so, do I appreciate what I put out? Yes. Do I like what I put out? Absolutely. And so I do it for my own entertainment. Like before, this is something that before I would put out stuff to entertain other people, but now I put stuff out to entertain myself.
Got it.
And I think that's definitely helped me, just overall, because like you do it for yourself. Like, am I having fun with it? Absolutely. So I'm going to do it. And if you enjoy it, then you're welcome. If not, then you're welcome.
So in terms of a personal legacy, how would you want to be remembered by your friends and family?
um, I wrote this down actually. Oh yeah. Um, I guess it's to be known as someone that pushes their creative boundary. You know, um, I just want people to know that it's okay to be yourself and enjoy it and on your own terms. It's just you don't have time in your life to like stress about these things. And honestly, like let's Jalsa or just me in general, it's just enjoy it, enjoy yourself, do what you want, and yeah.
Like
How
it.
you feel.
So if you had a chance to go in a time machine and visit 16-year-old Jallaja, what would you tell her?
I would tell her to stop overthinking. I'm like one of the biggest overthinkers. Maybe it's just like the artist in me or the creative in me, but I would tell her to stop overthinking and stop caring too much. You overthink because you care too much about the wrong things,
Hmm.
right? I think if I stopped caring about the wrong things and my surroundings, I could just do it for myself and really be like feel fulfilled within, and feel content within. But that only happened not that long ago, right? That only happened recently. I would say 5 years ago is when I took that leap and started something and put myself out there. Because before I wouldn't, because why should I? Am I good enough? And you always stop yourself, right? But then once I stopped caring, it's like, really, I wish I did that before because I feel like I could have done so much more. 5 years ago is when I started doing sports. I was that person who like I actually want to tell you the story. In grade 8, I was asked to be on the basketball team because I was tall. Okay, that's it. I never like auditioned or I never went for these tryouts or anything. I never did that. I was just asked to be on the team as a bench warmer in case because I was tall enough. And so, but mind you, I was proud of it. Right. So, it's like I just wish I stopped like overthinking and stopped myself from doing things because you would just assume you're not good enough. And then 5 years ago is when I started joining like flag football and like Watzel, and I did all of these different like things and like ultimate frisbee, and that's where I met you too. Like that's where,
Yes.
so and then it's like, hey, like I'm actually not too bad. I have to give myself a little bit more credit, and I wish I gave myself more credit when I was 16 or earlier. So
Do you like, out of reading or podcasting, which do you kind of listen to or like consume more for like information out of the two?
To be honest, I do neither. I'm kind of forced to listen to Kanka and his sports podcasts,
Okay.
and then I'll listen to it, and then he'll sit there explaining what happened. I'll just nod my head. Cool, cool, cool. Sounds great. I guess it's because I don't really have too much time to sit, or I haven't really gotten into it. But some podcasts that I do listen to is yours. I've definitely listened to yours with Tanya and Jansen, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I like listening to everyone's stories and how like what they're so passionate about and the way they view things. Um, yeah, I've met a lot of people in my like over the years through SAAAC and through dance and everything. And it's just I love absorbing what people have to say and like what their whys and what their motivation is. So your podcast is like really, really important, for town creators to hear. And yeah, it's great.
We will take that public endorsement. So in terms of somebody from the global Tamil community that you admire and why, and maybe like a non Tamil person you admire and why, like who are those people for you?
To be honest, like I was thinking about this question and I don't really have like an answer because I pull inspiration through like everything and anybody and everybody.
Got it?
Like I anything I see, I pull like inspiration from. There's no like one person I would say, yes, this is that person and I just want to be them. It's not that. Like I can't I yeah, I don't think I can really answer that question.
That's okay. Yeah. I think a question I also like to answer or ask is, it's kind of like a detour for a lot of the creative people that I speak to, or a lot of creatives, but around the topic of money. So how do you view money? What is your relationship with money like? And like, do you think about investing? Yeah, just more of a curious question there.
Um, to be honest, I wish I knew more. I wish I knew more about investing and just handling money as in general. I never did. I kind of relied on like whatever your parents say. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. You do. I don't look into it outside of it. I don't really
Mm,
know how to do my own taxes, and I just don't.
I
Right.
see.
But like at the same time, I did like invest in property with my sister when like 5 years ago. So that's when it even started, and so like I don't know too much. And I'm definitely looking to learn more about it now that I'm married to Kanka. He's always talking about it. So
um,
yeah.
so is there something that you've purchased in like the last couple of years, like I don't know if it's been like impulse or just anything you purchased that's like out of like your ordinary budget of things, but like you don't regret it?
I'm gonna say home decor. If if you're a new homeowner and you moved in, like HomeSense and all those like places are your go-to. And half my time I'm either spending a lot on like different sizes of bowls and different candles just because it makes me happy, and I think it's an important purchase. Kanka thinks otherwise. He's always questioning my purchases and wondering, is this necessary and what's the functionality of this? And I'm like, honestly, if this bowl is sitting here, I'll be happy. I'll move it tomorrow. I'll move it the day after. It doesn't matter. So, like
That's
things
funny.
like that. I would say, yeah, definitely home decor because you don't realize how expensive it is to furnish a home until you have to start doing it. And it's like, okay, this is never ending.
Yeah, I think maybe because of COVID as well, where more people are spending time at home.
Yes, for sure.
Like part of how you feel about yourself and just how you feel in general is your environment. So if you don't
Absolutely.
feel good about your environment, then yeah, you're probably not going to feel good.
Yeah. I need that bowl and I need that candle.
Money can be hard to come by, but here is $100 opportunity for you. Join my free newsletter for free exclusive content and a free chance to win $100 when I hold special draws. Did I mention that it's free? What's a piece of advice that you would give to any aspiring Tamil creators listening to this episode?
I would say don't doubt yourself. It's easy to say, but as a creator myself, I'm coming from there. So don't doubt yourself. There's obviously a reason why you want to start creating or why you create in the first place. There's a reason for it, because you have that spark and you have that capability. So just show the world and people will appreciate it. Like don't overthink, just do it. And it's not a race, right? You do it however you want to do it, whenever you want to do it, and in whatever style you want to do it. So don't doubt yourself. There's a reason for why you're even thinking about it.
It's a good segue into the final segment of the podcast. It's something that I like to call Creator Confessions. I'm going to say a bunch of statements. You're going to give me first answer that pops up into your mind, and we'll go from there.
I hate these.
Are you ready?
I guess.
All right. First one. Favorite Tamil food?
Tamil food?
Yes.
Katrikai curry. Why? That's my go-to.
Something that scares you?
Public speaking.
When you say katrikai, are you vegetarian?
I am not vegetarian, but I don't know. Something about it. I just love it in the curry. That curry has to be there. If it's not there, then it's not a good meal.
Interesting. Okay. Favorite show that you're watching?
WandaVision. I did watch it, but I thought that was really, really great.
A place you're itching to travel to after the pandemic is over?
I guess I would say Europe. Or really, I want to go to Australia.
Okay. A fellow Tamil creator that you want to give a shout out to?
Ooh, that's a lot of pressure. I shouldn't even be on this. My question should not be there. I give a shout out to all. Okay, I do not want to give one shout out.
Favorite childhood memory?
Dancing with my sister and families and doing those like home videos.
Favorite film of all time?
Film?
Yes.
I mean, I guess I'm gonna say Pariyappa just because people know my love for Rajinikanth, so I'm gonna have
That's your favorite Rajinikanth movie, Pariyappa?
I like them all. I have many. I'm just gonna say Pariyappa because it's a good go-to.
You can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong with it.
Pet peeve.
Pet peeve. Oh dear. People that ask too many questions.
That sounds like me. Person or celebrity that you look up to?
A celebrity I look up to? Oh gosh.
Or person. It can be anybody, person or celebrity. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess I look up to, I'm just gonna say my parents, and I'm gonna say Kanka because I think he's like a huge inspiration. He's like a behind the scenes guy, but he has like so much to offer. Not a lot of people know. So I would say Kanka.
I saw something he posted on LinkedIn, nothing to do with inspiration, but I think it was like his two or three screen setup at home in his office. Yeah.
My goodness gracious.
His office is like pretty nice.
Guy, yeah. His office is so important to him, and I never realized why. But like he does. Yeah, I can't even explain like all the things that he's doing all at once. It's like, how are you moving that fast? How are you thinking that fast?
If you knew that you were going to die tomorrow, a regret that you would have?
A regret I would have? I don't know. Maybe not putting myself out there sooner, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure. That's a deep question.
Age you want to retire by. And when I say retire, my definition is do what you want when you want. Well, so it's like ownership of time.
Yeah. Well, technically I'm already doing that, but let's just say 50. I think I'm on my way.
A celebrity whose life you want to experience for just one day.
A celebrity's life I want to experience.
For just one day.
Just one day. Honestly, my go-to answer is going to be Rajni. I just want to know.
It's a valid question. Yeah, for sure.
Like everyone knows me as that like huge Rajini fan, and like I've been to his house. I've seen his security guy. I said hi to him twice. Okay, so I never got to meet Rajini, but it's like, what is it like? I'm sure it's super hectic and it's like insane and not as glorious as people think it is.
A random fact about Rajinikanth. I didn't realize, but he's super. I think Tamil cinema, but Rajinikanth is super huge in Japan. I don't know if you knew
Yes,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I mean, I don't know why I find it hilarious, but yeah, it is.
No, but it's like, yeah,
Huge.
like I just didn't know that they're like any like outside of like the Tamil community, South Asian
Right.
community. But a friend of mine, Nelson, who also will be on the next part, the next episode, he created a short film called The Rajinikanth Effect. And it was really around Rajinikanth's impact on kind of, it's like a comedy
No
slash,
way.
yeah. So it was already out a couple of years ago, but like,
Oh, cool.
yeah, it's just crazy, like his impact on like just young people. Because I don't know a lot of like Tamil like stars and all that stuff, but I know Rajinikanth and I know Mani Ratnam because I loved all his films too.
Yes, for sure,
So
for
it's just
sure.
like I think Rajinikanth is like that universal like Tamil movie star that people outside of the Tamil community recognize or know somewhat
Yeah,
at least.
sure. Yeah,
So
more so like for his like style and stuff, right?
he's
Like,
got so much charisma. Yeah, he's like
yeah, his charisma,
charismatic.
style, and yeah, I think yeah, a lot of people like that and appreciate that, and I'm huge on that whole like style thing. Like, I love it. It's so
Yeah,
entertaining, and I'm just like I'm all over it. So
definitely. And finally, a public service announcement that you want to leave our audience with. So it can be any final thoughts you want to leave them with, or like something that you're working on that you want to get support on. Just any thoughts you want to leave the audience with.
okay, sure. Well, mainly one is get involved in your community, right? Look to volunteer because you'll gain so much more than you think. So I would say volunteering your time, and SAAC could be one of them. And in terms of dancing, I think really just allow yourself to be free, allow yourself to do what you love and do it because you love to do it, not for any other reasons. That will take you really far. And I think I've come really far because I'm all about entertaining myself and not anybody else. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, thank you, Jallaja, for jumping on the podcast. For anybody listening that's inspired, they want to collaborate while they're on a dance with you, whatever the case might be. What's
Yes.
the best way for someone to reach out to you?
I would say through Instagram, or you could also email me. I am, now that weddings are starting up again, receptions are starting up again, I am teaching in person and virtually. So I do a lot of tutorial videos as well. So reach out to me, and yeah.
Perfect. And if you're anything like me with two left feet, Jallaja is your person, guys. So thanks again, Jallaja, and for the audience. Appreciate you guys as always listening. See you guys in the next episode.